Good evening, folks. So CG just announced that they are going to provide us compensation for the 10th anniversary era flub, the issues that have been surrounding the era in general. Well, they announced 2 weeks ago that they were going to be issuing the compensation, but they are now issuing and letting us know what it will be. And those items will be in your game after tomorrow's patch. So this is being filmed on Tuesday. Most of you will watch it on Wednesday. And once the patch hits, all you have to do is log in, and we'll talk about that, and I'll show you what the compensation is. And I'm sure that a lot of you watching this already know what the compensation is because you're all big boys and girls and you can read. Excuse me, Rory, I am filming wherever you are. Do you want to leave the room? Oh, well, you have to wait. No, you do. Yeah, hold on. Don't be rude. Anyway, we are going to talk about that, but I want to use this more as a sounding board as well for the era itself and how I'm finding it going on through weeks now and where I still feel those weaknesses are. So we will do that right after the intro. And as recently, if you enjoy my content, please don't forget to subscribe. It does help. Okay, so let's take a look at the compensation that CG is going to be providing us with first. I have it right over here. Oh, nope, that's just advanced post. There it is. 10th anniversary, launch Coliseum over the last couple of weeks. The game has suffered various issues that needed to be hot fixed and resulted in a poor gameplay experience. This compensation will be for everyone over the level of 20. All you need to do is log in between tomorrow's update, so 12/10, and 1/1/2026. So anytime in the next 2.5 weeks you log in, you will receive this compensation, which is as follows: 5,000 crystals, one legacy tier 5 lightspeed token. So this lightspeed token will bring any legacy era character to relic 5. It's the highest level um, of LST that we have, and as far as I am aware, as long as characters as of the release of this Lightspeed token have been in game for a year, they will be eligible. You will be receiving 25,000 episode points. Now that is nice because I know right now in game there is an issue with the era challenges, and we're going to talk about that as well after. But it's not allowing free-to-play players to be able to complete the free-to-play track on the episode track. So this is kind of to make up for that happening right now. 5,000 era currency. So this is the currency that you use to buy Lightspeed tokens or that you use to buy Relic 10 material. 2,750 Grek ability modules. That's the MK1 level 1 to level 15 era leveling material. 150 MK1 basic performance cores. So that is the ability upgrade for MK1 for level 1 to level 15. 300 MK2 foreign ability material. So that is level 15 to level 25. 10,000 era level currency, which sounds like a lot. It honestly, it's less than the amount that you get in one. I think it's 499 pack. Maybe it's 399 crystals. I'm not sure, but it's still, you know what? It's free. It's something to write home about. And 3 Clone Wars Chewbacca shards. So that signals that we are back, and the old school, the OG, are back in control at CG, and they understand what we really want. But I want to talk about this a little bit because when we look at the era of anniversary, there still are a lot of issues that are plaguing the players. For one, when it comes down and we look at this episode track, and I am really hoping that the next episode track that is going to release next week does not have this issue, we are seeing an issue where players are not able, and I think mine are complete, but they are not able to complete a couple of these feats because they require you to do a certain amount in the era challenges. And when we look at those era challenges, and these are the things that replaced galactic challenges, and I am on record as saying that I have always hated galactic challenges. I've never found them fun or interesting, but at least the gameplay allowed people to figure out some sort of puzzle. When we look at the era challenges, they are basically just a stat check. If you have the right level for the right characters, you press auto, you are going to be able to beat the battle. And what are you going to get as a reward? Well, at tier 3, I'm getting 120, 200. I'm getting 240 era currency. Cool. Uh, Fine, right there. It's one of those changes to the game where, like, technically I'm getting more than I got before, and it's free, and I don't have to spend anything towards it, but it's also like nothing. And I've kind of said this before. There was this incident once about 20 years ago when I was driving on the road and I was at a stoplight, and the truck in front of me, they slammed on their brakes and they didn't have their cargo like secured correctly, and all of these sheets slid out from this guy's truck. Thankfully, I was far enough away where none of my stuff, my car didn't get hit. I was able to stop. And I pulled over and I helped him move all of those sheets back onto his car. It took like 20 minutes. And I was walking back to my car, like, all right, great. I was just helping this dude out. And he called me over and said, "Hey, thanks a lot." And he gave me $2. Man, like, to me, I did it to help out, right? And when your time is valued like that, and you take that $2 and you kind of look and go, well, yeah, I would have been happier with nothing. Thanks, I think, but now I'm a little bit annoyed. In that situation, I understand that there was a little bit of a shock value, but in this situation, playing the game, I'm constantly reminded of how little I actually get as a player and how much I actually need to spend in order to play. There still is another issue with the Coliseum, and I've talked about this constantly. If you are playing free to play, CG has changed the Coliseum a little bit, and it has made it a lot more free to play friendly by removing the roar of the crowd buff, which means that as a free-to-play player, you can actually advance, and as new marquees come into the game, you are going to be able to advance them and move through the Coliseum and eventually get to level 65. However, if you have spent any amount of money in between, outside of full-on straight-up whaling, you find yourself often getting stuck at these points. Right now, I am stuck at this 9% point on tier 4 for these, second level guys, where I can't get ability level 4 at all with my team. And I am now going to need to wait a week and a half to 2 weeks of getting literally 0 rewards from Coliseum at all and seeing no growth in my team at all, because I need to wait for the next marquee and I have to level up the next marquee in order to break that 9% hurdle. And I've spent about $40 on Coliseum overall right now. But these hurdles where I don't feel any progress because I can't receive the next level of currency until I have hit the threshold where I actually need to already have my characters at the level to get that currency, does not spark joy, and it does not make me want to proceed through the Coliseum game mode. Now, with all of that said, I do see a bright future, and I do think that in the next era, we are going to see some considerable Coliseum changes that are going to fix this system. And this compensation that we are getting is at the very least softening the blow of me having to sit here and do nothing every day and hit auto and get no rewards until Buddy Cop Chewbacca comes to the game. Now, when we talk about the compensation itself, how should you use it, right? 5,000 crystals, that's self-explanatory. You should do with that however you spend your crystals now. I'm back and forth on whether I want to whale on Buddy Cop Chewbacca just because I think Buddy Cop Chewbacca is a really, really funny character, and I want to support really, really funny characters. But then we talk about this Legacy Tier 5 Lightspeed token. And if we look at these Legacy Lightspeed tokens over here, Era Shipments, these are Rhodium ones. There are no Kyber ones in here because these are level. I guess these are level 5 actually. The Erodium ones, Relic Tier 5, level 5 here. Tier 5, yeah. So you're not going to get Zetas with those, and you're just going to end up using them on whatever you need, right? For me, that is the bottom of my roster. And, it's randomly leveling up one of these characters. For you as a player, if you are in the mid game or the early game, what I do recommend you do is going to that 10th anniversary post and finding your anniversary Star Wars Galaxy Hero and finding the list of Lightspeed tokens that you are going to be getting throughout the next. Oh, here it is. Tier 5 Kyber, 7 stars, Relic 6, ability level 7. So yeah, no Zetas. Finding the characters that you are going to be getting here and cross-referencing that to make sure that there is no overlap for you or the journeys that you are going on right now. The only thing that I think is actually up in the air is this era currency and how you should use this era currency. If you are in the very, very, very late game, if you are somebody like me who does not really have very many characters left and those characters are kind of on the shitty end of the stick, you are obviously going to be spending that on coaxial servo motors or CSs, whatever you want to call them, just because that is what makes the most sense. You don't need any of these Lightspeed tokens. However, if you are in a place in the game where you are still struggling to relic 9 characters and you are still working on getting journey guides up, I would strongly consider taking the 5,000 era currency and instead using it on some of these tokens right here. Now, a case could be made if you are in a very low end game that you would be better spent getting 5 carbonate lightspeed tokens over the course of 3 weeks. This will bring your characters to gear level 12. It'll bring them, well, 3 stars. You'll have them at 3 stars most likely. It'll bring their abilities up to a point where you're already going to be using them. But what it is going to do is most likely make those characters usable to you. If you are in the mid game, again, I strongly suggest instead of buying this Relic 10 material, considering buying one of these Erodium Lightspeed tokens to help speed up one of the journeys that you're already working on, as long as it doesn't coincide with a journey that you are going to be utilizing with the 10th anniversary Lightspeed tokens that you're going to be getting over the next 6 months. Just keep in mind that when you are doing that, when you are purchasing that Lightspeed token, make sure that it is actually a character that is limiting you and slowing you down. And if I'm being completely honest, I would strongly make sure it is a character who is on the newer side and trying to avoid any of the characters who do not have a Chirotech requirement. Now, every character has a Chirotech requirement for their finisher, but all characters that came out after the Padme, Malik, Darth Revan era also have Chirotech in their overall gearing. And being that that is one of the gearing bottlenecks that players are seeing, you definitely want to maximize these tokens against that type of gearing to speed yourself up. The ability modules, the basic performance cores, the foreign ability material, those things, those are all, they're great. They are, you're going to use them as you use them. The era level currency, 10,000, kind of what I said before. It seems like a lot, but then we go into our era store and for $4.99, $2.99. Nope, not that one. Where is the era leveling one? For $3.99, you're getting at least 11,000 currency. So that 10,000 currency is valued at about $1.50, somewhere around there. Again, it is free. I'm not going to lambast them for that, but it doesn't go very far at all. All of this is to say, I am happy that CG is admitting their mistake. I am happy that they are admitting that they have screwed something up. But I really wish that going into this holiday season, which is now 12/9, they are going to probably be on break starting next week or possibly the week after. I really wish we would get a post that at the very least let us know some of the changes they are hoping to make. So, some of the targets that they have noticed players struggling with. And even if they can't preemptively tell us what the solution set is, at least say to us, hey, we recognize this is a pain point, and X, Y, and Z are the things that we are looking into right now. All of this is to say, listen, guys, it's free crap. I am always happy for free crap. I am not going to give CG shit for giving us free crap, but I am going to say that with this era, with this Coliseum update, with everything going on, please do not leave us hanging for the next month and tell us, hey guys, good luck, because it is going to cause some struggle, right? This is the time of the year. We're in January. Everybody is saying, hey, the game is boring. What do we do? What do we, what's going on? It is just going to be amplified by us not knowing what what you guys are talking about to make this better for players overall and to make this better for business overall. Um, I hope that you guys find this helpful. Um, Happy free shit day tomorrow. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night.